Hey y'all, we back, man. I'm excited to be back. We had a lot of personal challenges, um, so but we back. Got a lot of stuff to talk to y'all about, jam packed about it. But before we jump into it, make sure that you go ahead and tell people that we're live. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit that like button, share it, let a friend, you know what I mean, know that we live, as well as let them know that we are on Facebook. Follow us on my Facebook. Um, but it's me and Viv, your host, ready to jump right back into it. We had some breaking news last night, which was huge. Um, I ain't gonna lie to y'all, I'm mad. I'm mad about it. Um, but Nolan Arenado, man, and it's crazy because since Mookie got traded, since um, Francisco got traded, my eye on him the whole time. People have my eye on and Nolan, um, Chris Bryant, and there's another one I can't even think of right now. But I had a feeling he was going to get traded. Nolan, Chris Bryant's another third baseman that I want. That I think that he'll get traded as well. But at this point, I'm like, man, we ain't gonna make no phone calls.
You can still make a phone call to the Rockies
I know it's not done.
because, to me, when you trade Nolan Arenado, that means you're moving on.
Yeah,
Trevor Story. Y'all need a shortstop. Trevor Story's right there. Let's make it happen.
I was like,
And that's where I'm going. That was my first. As soon as I said they moved Nolan. I said, man, that means Trevor's got to be next. He's got to be next. So I'm with you, and I like to move for the Cardinals.
yeah,
I love to move for the Cardinals. The Cardinals is just an organization that's just never gonna go anywhere. They're always gonna be hanging around, and then when you add a bet like that, that's gonna make it real interesting because they already had a decent lineup. So you're just adding another bet in the middle of that lineup. That's gonna make it very interesting for the Cardinals in that division. So
I agree with you. I'm glad with you. Glad you like your train of thought. Because soon as Nolan news came through, I said, all right, that mean they moving up from Trevor. That mean they moving. So I had to look him up, look up his number. Because I want to be like, well, why they moving on from Nolan? You know, he about to be 30. So all right, Trevor 27, 28. He just turned 28. So I bet maybe they're about to move on from Trevor as well. We definitely we have to make a call. I saw y'all at least made a call for Nolan. My thing is this. Phillies, and I know, yeah, I mean, we just got Dave Dombrowski. Why it didn't have to come to this? We could have been settled on JT Realmuto months ago. Now we pay him $115 million. I'm not mad at paying him $115 million, but we could have had this deal done and figured out our off season instead of scrambling to try to figure out what we're doing. We could have reached out to, like you said, Nolan. Could have reached out to Trevor Story. Could have reached out to Francisco Lindor. I just don't know what we're doing. And the crazy thing is that people say, well, the Phillies have spent a lot of money this offseason. No, we didn't. Let's be real. We didn't. We spent $115 on a player that was already ours, which we could have already spent last year.
Yeah, that's my problem. That's my only issue with the Phillies is why did it take so long to get this deal done with JT? And I never heard any rumors that he was going anywhere else. All you kept hearing was, yeah, JT's going to go back to Philly. He's going back to Philly. He's going back to Philly. And I'm like, so what's the holdup? What's stopping this process from getting done? Then they got the GM. So I'm like, oh, then it's a wrap. And it still felt like almost a month and a half, 2 months for the deal to get done. So I don't know. All I know is if you're gonna make a move to get Trevor Story, it's gonna again potentially shift the balance in that division. You add a bat like that to that team, it puts them right in the thick of things with the other three teams, and you don't know what the Marlins are gonna be. So.
And that's my train of thought. I mean, again, I'll get back to the Cardinals picking up Nolan, but I want to talk about the JT Realmuto too because he did. That's a big sign as well. I mean, he came back, he re-signed with the Phillies. But my train of thought is just with what you just said. The Mets make moves. the Nats are making moves. The Braves are making moves. While you're staying pat, I get it. You re-sign your player. You re-sign your player. A player that you had last year where you finished fourth in the division. So, how have you gotten better? I know you got Archie Bradley. I know we got a couple of different pitching people in the rotation. But how have you gotten better? You haven't done enough to compete with the Mets and what they did this offseason. You haven't done enough. You don't draft well enough. You don't develop well enough to compete with the Braves right now. Like I thought when we got Dave, man, we were gonna be out here making moves. I'm not gonna lie to you. It just seemed like same old Phillies. That's what it feels like right now. The same old Phillies. So I'm happy we did get JT Realmuto back. I'm happy that we maybe gonna start Didi Segura. Didi Gregorius. And have we got Archie Bradley, and have we got a couple of pieces. But these pieces aren't enough on paper to compete with some of the moves that other teams are making. It sure as hell ain't enough to compete with San Diego.
No.
Or the Dodgers. Or the Braves that's in your division. So, I'm with you. I like the move for the Cardinals. You got the best third baseman in baseball to me. Yeah, man. Between him and Anthony Rendon, I think those are the top two third basemen in baseball. But you have to, if you want to compete and get back to that championship status, you have to make a move. And everything that I'm hearing is Trevor Bauer going to the Mets.
Whew, that would not be good for the division. But it'd be good for the Mets, who are finally looking like they are wanting to win and not just rely on their pitching staff to carry them. So good for the Mets.
Team guy, you gotta pick it up. But I'm with you as far as the Nolan Arenado move going to the Cardinals. I like it for the Cardinals. It's a huge move, a big move. I heard the Cardinals taking on like $50 million in salary as well, along with giving up like 6 prospects. But I think he's worth it. I'm not gonna lie to you. I think he's worth it. I think it's a move that you have to make.
Absolutely.
I still don't know if this puts them. Does this put them in contention as a top team in the National League?
What I think it does, I think it puts them in the driver's seat for that division. I don't think the Cubs, I don't think the Reds, and I don't think the Brewers can compete with the Cardinals by when you add that type of guy to that team. You already have Goldschmidt, you already have DeJong, you already have Matt Carpenter. Like, they have guys that can hit. And now Dexter Fowler, I forgot about Dexter Fowler. Now you add a guy like Nolan. I don't see a team in that division that's going to be able to compete with them and beat them. So all you have to do is win the division. You get in the playoffs, and as we know, anything can happen in the playoffs in baseball. So just get in, and you add a guy like that to the lineup. Yeah, I feel like the Cardinals are probably the best team in that division now.
Yeah, listen. I think they who won the division. Who was top in the division last year?
I think it was the Cardinals.
I thought the Cardinals was the top in the division last year.
So
So, listen, it's a lot of baseball talk. Sorry about it. But speaking of, like you said, the Brewers report is Hader can be had. I heard they got a crazy asking price, but
that's saying something to me. Oh, the Cubs won the division last year.
Okay. I can remember it was the Cubs or the Cardinals.
The Cubs won it. The Cardinals finished 3 games back, though.
Okay.
But
and the Cubs, I think, we talk about it. We think they in sell mode. So
I believe they are, but they haven't made any moves yet. Other than moving you.
Yeah.
So you moved you, but Chris Bryant's still there. Javi Baez is still there. So, but if the Brewers are going to move Hader, however you say his name, yeah, that's going to be a big asking price because this is a guy that could be he can eat up innings. He can throw 4 or 5 innings, but he could also be just your closer and shut down the door at the end. Like he's so versatile in his ability coming out of the bullpen. Yeah, he's probably they're gonna be wanting something pretty good in exchange for him. My only issue with that is if you move him, I think it's probably a bit premature because they struggled last year basically because their MVP had a terrible year. Christian Yelich was terrible in 2020. So I don't know. I don't know if I would be looking to move him just yet.
That led me to another thing when you said, I said, okay, he could be had. Does that mean Christian Yelich could be had as well? Because if he can be had, to me, it sounds like y'all packing it in.
Yeah, that's weird. That's weird because again, that you had just a couple of years ago, they were talks of being a World Series contender.
Christian Yelich was coming off that.
He had that crazy year. He had that crazy year. So I don't know. I don't know about that.
It's a lot. So let me ask you this question, man. Again, more stuff from the National League East pissing me off. Y'all in talks with Justin Turner?
As we should be.
Maybe y'all are favorite.
He's a guy. He can play third. He doesn't have to play every day. He's a veteran. He knows how to win. And then I think the most important part is his clutch hitting. Even on his days off, you can pinch him at any point in time in the game, and he can stay in the game and play. I think he can play third. He can probably play first. So I think that's a good move. I'm not sure what his asking price is. You know, I'm not sure what his market value is as he's getting older. You know, but he's still a solid contributor. I'm still shocked that he's still a free agent, honestly.
Yeah, we seen it last year that his value to a team. I mean, I think they're gonna win the World Series without him. Last year,
no doubt about that.
Maybe he's still a free agent because he's older. I mean, you still got a bunch of other players out there as well that's a little bit older that's still free agents. So maybe that's the reason why. But I'm with you. Like, he adds value, he adds leadership, he has championship experience to that team instantly or wherever team he goes to. So I like the move. I don't like it that it would be the Braves, but I like any team that he goes to, he's automatically going to add value and leadership experience. Just got to wear his mask. Yeah, I mean, throw team meetings and stuff like that. And,
Yeah, he got to follow. He got to follow the protocols that he helped implement.
So yeah, that's it. That's about it. I'm thinking. Shoot, it's been like a week since we talked, so I'm saying trying to scroll through everything that happened.
That's a lot.
So everything that happened. Shoot, just in baseball, Marcus Semien against shoot, talk about the Blue Jays. That lineup is becoming crazy.
That lineup is ridiculous.
They got who they get. I'm trying to think if they got Marcus Semien. Can't remember. I'm checking my broken notes. They got Steven Matz.
Yeah, they signed Marcus Semien too.
So they got Marcus Semien, Steven Matz, and
Springer,
and George Springer to add with Vlad and them. Oh, and they got Kobe Yates. They got Kirby Yates.
Yep.
And like, so I still think the Yankees jumped to the top of the list. In the AL, in the American League. Still think they're the best team in the American League just off of what they've done. But I think the Blue Jays is right there, probably second. And I think the Twins did something big as well. But yeah, I think the Blue Jays is like maybe second or third right now to me, off-season wise. If I had to do a ranking in the American League, they're probably third right now.
Who, Toronto?
Yep.
I gotta put them at. I think I'm gonna put them at 1
over the Yankees.
Over the Yankees, yeah.
Okay.
They have. This is gonna be really, really interesting. They have guys that can play multiple positions and hit pretty much from like 1 to 7 up and down their lineup. Not sold on the pitching. But that lineup, you're talking about Vlad Jr., Marcus Semien, Biggio, Bichette, Gurriel, Springer, Grucic, Hernandez. That's 1 through 9 is dominant. that batting lineup is ridiculous. They're so good. They've signed guys, and that are gonna have to go and play another position. Like Marcus Semien is probably gonna be playing second. Like that team is really, really good. I'm not sure what the pitching staff is gonna look like, or how good they're gonna be, but with that lineup, whew, I think they've won the offseason so far.
I think they won the offseason. Yeah, I mean, I was trying to look at the standings that they did last year. I do think that they won the offseason, but I think they just closed the gap because the Yankees didn't lose anybody.
No.
But they did add what we think is the only thing that holds them back, which is pitching.
But Kluber's got to be healthy. That's the only issue with him. If Corey Kluber is healthy and he returns to anything close to what he used to be in Cleveland, yeah, the Yankees, they got 2 aces.
And they got Jameson talent from
and he's another one that, again, he's gonna just have to stay healthy. Like if they stay healthy, you have 2 aces and a guy who was on the verge of becoming an ace, because that's what Jameson was becoming in Pittsburgh. They the Yankees are going to be really good. It's just can those two pitchers that they've added, can they stay healthy? If they can stay healthy, the Yankees are going to be incredible. It's still amazing to me that this is going on, and the Red Sox have been quiet now. And this is two winners in a row where they've not made any splashes after winning a World Series. So,
yeah,
it's interesting.
I think they just, again, probably in full teardown mode. Because I don't think they're gonna be in on Jackie Bryant. Chris Sale's coming back. They getting rid. I heard they were in talks of probably maybe getting rid of their young outfielder. So I think they maybe just be in full teardown mode. You know what I mean? And just to build it up and not saying do it the right way, but because I think they have done it the right way. But then I think they'll be right back. That's the Red Sox. I mean, it's Boston. It's the Red Sox. I think they'll be right back in the thick of things. But I'm with you. It is interesting that they haven't had. Like I said, I think there have been a little signing, but I can't remember if it was anything. He said what? Go upstairs and watch TV.
No.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Red Sox.
Yeah,
I got something sorry. It's probably ain't nothing.
Yeah, they've not done much. They've been quiet. I'm surprised they haven't moved Chris Sale, to be honest with you.
I don't think nobody wants him at this moment. Because I was thinking the same thing.
I'm surprised they haven't moved JD.
Yeah.
Just because you can get a lot for JD, especially if they're going to continue to have the universal DH. You can get a lot for JD.
I heard that what I heard is that's one of the things that they want to know if they're going to still have that universal DH. Because they have that, I think that's why you still see the DH is still out there, not unsigned. Because they don't know if they're going to have that universal DH. If they have that universal DH, then you're going to see Marzell. You're going to see
Nelson Cruz,
and you'll see JD. I think you'll see his trade value get ratcheted up quickly. But yeah, I think Chris Sale's he coming off that surgery, and I think a lot of people don't know if he's still that guy. So that's probably why nobody really. Because I heard that I even heard that the Red Sox is gonna walk him back slowly. So yeah. Yankees, man, they thinking about Marcell Ozuna. I just saw. No, it's in baseball. I don't. You had Michael Brantley go back to. I don't know if we talk about it, but yeah, you had Brantley go back to the Astros.
After reports that he had signed in Toronto.
Mm-hmm. I thought if he was going back to Toronto, I thought that was going to be. They was definitely
World Series or bust at that point.
They definitely wanted to be if they went to Toronto. There's still big names out there. Colton Wong, who I think the Phillies are in on. For me personally, if I'm the Phillies, I think you can't just sign your guys back. You can't just sign Didi Gregorius. Yeah, man. I think you can compete. You have to get Christian Wong as well, in my opinion. And I don't even know if that moves the needle. You know what I mean? But you got Christian Wong out there. Yeah, Andre Simmons.
Andrelton Simmons.
Yeah. He signed with
the Twins,
which I think was a good get as well. You got Brad Hand, who signed with the Nats. I think that was a good get. What else? Other than that, like I said, you still got a couple of big names out there. Jackie Bradley Jr., Trevor Bauer, who, again, I heard this reporting they offered him a big contract, $34 million a year. The Mets.
Hmm.
I think 3-4 years, $34 million a year. It ain't done yet. He ain't signed it. So maybe waiting his options. Because the Dodgers offer him a big John too as well, I think.
And he turned that down too?
I don't know if he turned it down, but I'm just looking through the reports real quick. Mets offered Trevor Bauer 3 years, $36 million a year. That's his average. Dodgers offer him something close to that, but wasn't around the 36 million. 36 million.
Interesting.
So I don't know if you're waiting for longer years.
I think that's probably why he probably wants 5 to 7.
Yeah, I wouldn't do it. And because we talked about it here on here. That would make him the highest paid pitcher, I think, in baseball. Actually, I think what's name is still be the highest. Washington.
Strauss,
yeah, Marcus Strauss. Not Marcus Strauss.
Steven Strasburg.
I think he's still that would make him still the highest. But we talk about it. Is he on that level? Is Trevor Bauer on that level?
No.
So I get it. I understand that the market dictate that, but it's not that type of market this year. I think it's the cap or the numbers is going to be down a little bit because they don't know how many games they're going to play. They don't know if they're going to lose money. Baseball. So he can get 36 million, man. You might want to snatch that up.
Especially if it's from a team to where you can go and you're going to be winning. Like, that's what I don't be understanding. It'd be a good deal with a good team, and guys still be like, I want more. I'm like, but do you want more for the sake of losing, or take a little less, which is still not like it's bad money or anything, and you're going to win more? And winning comes with endorsements.
Yeah. Name recognition, all that stuff. Like you said, man. Like, and the two teams, like I said, I heard, is there going to be a better team out there? Is there a better team than that with that rotation and with the Mets? Who going to get Noah Syndergaard back? Who going to get Marcus Stroman back? Is there a better team? It's like a cheat code over there with the pitching staff.
Yeah, and obviously that is a organization whose pitching coaches are phenomenal. So he could go there and he could actually probably get better just based off the coaching that he could get from the Mets, because they're obviously doing something right with their pitching coaches at every level of that organization.
Yeah. And then, like I said, the Dodgers. Anybody turn anything down from the Dodgers, they're an idiot.
It's LA. Like, there's so many places that you could go and get endorsements. Just make a cameo in a TV show. Like, there's so many different things that you could do that you can benefit yourself from just being there. So some people sometimes you have to look into more than just what the contract is. So
and they just won the World Series. And they ain't lose nobody. I mean, they might use Jock, who I think had the bad season. Yeah, I mean, down season. And Justin Peterson or Justin Turner. But I think they added pieces that made them better. So, yeah, gonna be interesting, man. Gonna be interesting.
Absolutely.
I think we touched on all our baseball topics.
No, we didn't.
Nope, no.
Mm-mm.
What we got? What we got?
No Hall of Famers in 2021.
Oh yeah! Oh my God! Listen, when the gym came up, it took me like 2 days to try and figure out what the F. Like what the F? And I was like, I said, man, this is why
baseball's a joke.
Is a joke. This is why it's a joke. And then their reasoning behind it was we want to honor the 2021 or 2020 Hall of Famer. You couldn't do that with the 2021 Hall of Famers either. Because what's gonna happen? Like, are they gonna continuously push years back? Because in 2022 you're gonna want to honor the 2021 class.
That was the dumbest reasoning. All I know is it's only gonna get worse, right? Because we're gonna continuously get the steroids era guys coming up for Hall of Fame consideration. And I'm like, so what are we getting ready to go like 4 or 5 years with no Hall of Famers for Major League Baseball? Is that what we get ready to do? 5, 6 years of no Hall of Famers? Eventually, some guy's going to get in. I think A-Rod is going to be the guy to get in. I think he's done enough with apologizing constantly, and then he became a part of the media. I think David Ortiz is in that same boat, where I think he's done enough to clean up his image where he may get in. Curt Schilling, his political views and stances are keeping him out of the Hall of Fame. I think that is probably the worst thing or excuse or reason, whatever you want to say, for not getting him in, because of the way he feels about certain things. That's super weird, in my opinion, and it has nothing to do with baseball. You want to say Barry Bonds, Roger Clemens, they cheated the game? You want to keep him up for that? I think it's stupid, but I can understand that. But his political views and his stances and his opinions of how he feels is keeping him out of the Hall of Fame? That's just ridiculous.
The dumbest. They pick and choose, man. Pick and choose. Because like you said, it's the dumbest thing. It's the dumbest thing ever. They keep him out for that. But even to keep the steroid era guys out. I think we talk about it on the show. You benefited heavily. You benefited heavily from that. And there's no way you can tell me that you did not know that some of these players were using steroids. There's no way. Listen, I'm gonna use an analogy. It's gonna probably be a terrible analogy, but I'm gonna use it. Hotel Rwanda, right? They gave them the machetes and everything like that to commit it. I believe wholeheartedly that baseball probably gave them PEDs and steroids to do it, to help them grow the sport.
Well, there's plenty of interviews of Mark McGwire at his locker, and the substance that he was using, the cream that he was using, is right there in his locker in the shot. It's right there in the locker in a shot. So, and at the time, it wasn't a banned substance. And then it became a banned substance. Baseball turned a blind eye because it was making money off of the home runs. I'll never forget the commercial with the Braves pitchers saying chicks dig the long ball. I'll never forget it. It was my pitchers saying chicks dig the long ball. And it was self-explanatory. Baseball profited off of it. They turned a blind eye. And the writers, they knew what was going on. The same writers that's trying to keep them out of the Hall of Fame, they knew what was going on then. They wrote about it, and they didn't care. They profited off of it just as much as Major League Baseball did, the writers did. and now they're trying to keep him out of the Hall. Put him in the Hall. Pete Rose needs to be in the Hall. Baseball, your Hall of Fame is a joke. It's a joke. It's a joke.
Baseball should strictly the Hall of Fame numbers should strictly be about era and what you did on the field for that era. Everybody in the steroid era had inflated numbers, if you want to be real. But again, let's talk about championships. Are those championships, are those baseball championships going to be taken away from that era? No.
Hey, majority of them wasn't even the ones that were winning championships. Barry Bonds never won a World Series. Not once. Roger Clemens won World Series before they believed that he was on the steroids heavy. That's when he won his World Series. He had some great individual seasons, but majority of his winning was done before they suspect that he was on steroids. Mark McGwire, man, he's probably on steroids in college, but it didn't matter. He was hitting the ball miles, so everybody was in love with him. But now everybody wants to make him out to be some bad guy because of what he decided to do to his body. And that's my problem. Like, he decided to do that to his body. Who really cares? And again, steroids is not. It didn't make. No one went from a scrub to a Hall of Famer because of steroids.
Nope.
Most of the time, they go from stud to great. That's it. Or they go from great to greater. But we're not going to sit here and pretend that these guys weren't going to have Hall of Fame careers without the steroids. So
all-time leaders in home runs. Barry Bonds, number one. If steroid was such a big issue, then you still acknowledge him as the all-time leading home run guy, right? Why stop him? If you're going to acknowledge him from being the home run king, why stop him from getting in the Hall of Fame? You got Alex Rodriguez up here.
It's kind of like how if you want to do something to him, put him in the Hall of Fame, but strip some of his numbers. Strip some of his awards. He can't be the home run king. Make sure that he's not the home run king. Take some of his home runs away. Take some of his RBIs away. Like, do something to discredit him, or just put an asterisk beside it. I don't care what you do. But you can't say a guy that I watched get intentionally walk with the bases loaded. With the bases loaded, they intentionally walked him. He led the league in walks. Like, I don't understand. Like, how do you sit here and say like this guy needed steroids to be great? I don't get it. I really don't. But anyway,
I just want to know I want to ask one question real quick. I'm just looking up a couple of things. Does anybody have more than 3 MVPs?
In baseball?
Yeah, baseball. Top of my head. I can only think of one.
How many Mike Trout got at this point?
Mike Trout, I want to say, has 3. But this is a point I'm making. Barry Bonds got 7 of them things. He got 7 MVPs, man.
And I think like three of them came in Pittsburgh, man, before the big hit in San Francisco. Like, stop playing with me, man. Stop playing with me. He was a Hall of Famer before
he got to the Giants, man.
Yes, he was stealing bases. He was in the 40-40 club. He was Gold Glove all over. Like, stop playing with me, man. Barry Bonds is a Hall of Famer. Stop it.
Listen, light-skinned Sammy Sosa, man, he got to get into it, man. Come on, man. Like,
nah. I don't think Sammy Sosa or Mark McGwire has the numbers to get into the Hall of Fame. Now, they should have a place in the Hall of Fame. Their home run race that year rejuvenated baseball. It made baseball popular again. Think about it. That was just what 2 or 3 years, maybe 4 years after the strike where they didn't have a complete season, no World Series, and then fans were kind of leaving baseball alone, and then they had the home run race, and it rejuvenated baseball. Baseball can say what they want. They knew what was going on. They probably underhandedly encouraged it, and now they're trying to take it out on these guys, man. Rafael Palmeiro should be in the Hall of Fame as well. Like, stop playing with me. 3,000. Stop playing with me. 3,000 hits. Stop playing with me.
Listen, Jim Thome in the Hall of Fame. If Jim Thome in there, I gotta put Sammy in there. Sammy got an MVP, a six-time silver slugger. Listen. It's a lot of teams. I think it's gonna be players in here who have worse numbers than Sammy and Mark.
Yeah, that's just to spite people, man. Because there's guys that got in the last couple of years that, in my opinion, shouldn't have been in there. But hey, they in. Whatever.
So yeah, again, when I first saw that, I said, man, baseball is a joke. This is why people don't respect their league. I know people be like, man, basketball is a players' league. But baseball might be a players' league. That might be the ultimate players' league, where the players control stuff.
Basketball has become a players' league. In 2010 is when the NBA became a players' league. LeBron changed that dynamic. But before that, Michael Jordan, think about it. Michael Jordan played the majority of his career where he wasn't even the highest paid player.
Yeah.
He wasn't even in. I don't even think for majority of it, he wasn't even in like the top 10. No, LeBron changed that dynamic when he did the decision. So the NBA has become a players' league. It's always been a progressive league. They've always been a forward-thinking league, but it just became a players' league.
Baseball, I don't even know why they got a commissioner.
They don't need one.
I don't know why they got a commissioner. I don't know what he does. I legit don't know what he does. And maybe that's why they brought in Ken Griffey. Maybe that's why they brought in Ken Griffey Jr.
That's a good move too. I like that, bringing in Ken to help with the helping get the game to blend with minorities. I like that.
Yep.
I like that.
All right. Now we're done with our baseball talks. Let's talk some. I want to talk something that's gonna happen today, which is the Senior Bowl, college, seniors from college. I want to ask you this: how big do you think? How big of a leap do you think one can make from the Senior Bowl or showing out at the Senior Bowl?
I think this is of all the years past, I was never really intrigued by it. I'm thinking, whatever. This is probably going to be those 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th rounders. But in a year where with the pandemic, and then I even don't FCS teams get invited as well, FCS players. So here's an opportunity for some FCS guys who didn't play all year. Here they are. They have an opportunity to go out and showcase themselves. I think a guy can make a leap in the Senior Bowl this year. I think this year is the year where it's all eyes are going to be on the Senior Bowl. Where in years past, it might be something that you might gloss over or just skim through. But I think all eyes is going to be on the Senior Bowl.
I agree with you. I think we've seen Carson Wentz benefit. We've seen Daniel Jones benefit huge from it. I think Kyle Trask not being there is going to hurt him a lot. Not being able to showcase, especially from our last image of him. But I think Matt Jones is going to be a top 10 pick based off this. I think Matt Jones will be a top 10 pick based off of what he did in college, because like you said, this year it's not going to be it's not going to be a super focus on the combine, which that's where you see a lot of people shoot up drafts because of the combine. This year they're talking about your tape from last year and what you did from this year and what you did do at the Senior Bowl, and that's why I think Matt Jones will jump up and be a top 10 pick in this year's draft based off of this year's Senior Bowl. Um, I think you're gonna have a Daniel Jones esque type rise.
I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised. I think teams were already kind of secretively high on him. They didn't want to put it out there, but now there's other teams are starting to put it out there that they are high on him. Now they're like, man, I gotta kind of put it out there and let it, you know what I mean? But I think it's one of those situations where people are kind of scared of him just because where he went to school.
Mm-hmm.
And the tradition of the Alabama quarterback. The guy makes all the throws. I think he's super accurate. I think he's not super athletic, but he moves well enough to avoid pass rushes. I think he's going to be solid. I think Justin Fields should have brought himself back to school, man.
Yes.
Back to school.
Yes. Listen, I know.
That could be a long day for him. Come April.
I think he'll be a top 10. I think he'll be a top 10 pick as well, but based off of trades, like people trading up. Matt Jones, again, we're talking about. People say, well, he went to Alabama. He played with all the talent. He played with NFL talent. But ain't he gonna play with NFL talent in the NFL?
That's what I always say. It's always the dumbest knock on people. Like, man, he played with all these NFL guys. Well, that's where he's going to be going. So that's pretty good.
To the NFL. So, like everybody from his Alabama team ain't going to the pros. Everybody in the NFL is NFL talent. So he's gonna play with better. Yeah, I mean, supporting cast. Like, I hear let's say, well, I'm lying, because if you go to Detroit, then
poor fella.
I'd rather play with the Alabama team. I'd rather play with Alabama than go to Detroit. You know
I'd coach before I get drafted by Detroit. I'd go back to Alabama and coach.
That's like the only team I think that if you put Mac Jones in with that team, it's like, man, well, you should have you should have stayed in college. But yeah, I think it's gonna be I think it's gonna be huge for a lot of people. Man, I'm gonna be tuned in, and yes, because I really was like tuned in. But I'm gonna be tuned in today, just to see who will make splashes. I've been tuned into the practices. I hear there's a lot of guys out there making noise. A lot of guys are rising right now.
They know what's at stake.
So I'm with you. Real quick. Dang, we haven't talked since the championship games. Like, of course, the Bucks. We know the Bucks. The Bucks and the Chiefs. But I want to go back. Aaron Rodgers lost. It's Aaron Rodgers. Did he play his last game in Green Bay?
He should have. I'd rather move on too soon than move on too late. You have a good young core. If you move on for Aaron Jones, you still got Dylan and Williams. You got Devontae under contract. You need to get some more weapons. Even if whether you keep Aaron or you go to Love, it doesn't matter. You need to go and get some new weapons. But it's just time to move on. You didn't draft. If you didn't draft that kid, I wouldn't be saying this though. Be honest. But you drafted him where you drafted him. So to me, that means that you ready to move on. And again, I'm gonna say this. At some point in time, Aaron Rodgers is gonna have to overcome the flaws of this team. He's too good to continuously find ways to lose games. Now, I know people are going to say pass interference, yada, yada, yada. He should have ran. They should have went forward on fourth down. No, he should have got some points on those 3 interceptions. You can't be given. Your defense can't get a takeaway 3 times, and you get no points off of those drives. And if memory serves me correctly, I think they might have been 3 and outs.
Yep, all 3 of them.
All 3 of them. That's on Aaron Rodgers. He's the quarterback. We're not going to praise him for being this bad man. And then in playoff time, more times than not, Peyton Manning, because that's what he was reminding me of. He's this great talent. He's in the regular season, he's a juggernaut. But for some odd reason in the playoffs, he shrinks more times than he steps up. This reminds me of the Seattle game, where Seattle just constantly gave them opportunity to win, and they couldn't. I'm moving on from Aaron Rodgers just for the simple fact that I feel like he got a ring, and that's all he's gonna get in Green Bay.
Hey, listen. Say what we want about Peyton Manning, right? Peyton Manning, I think, retired at 36 or 37. When he retired, though, he won the 4 Super Bowls. He won 2 of them. Aaron Rodgers, at this stage of his career, is better than Peyton Manning at that stage of his career. But I don't know if his mind is better than Peyton Manning's at this stage of his career, than that stage of his career. Like, Aaron Rodgers is better than Tom Brady at this stage of his career, but his mind isn't. It's still arm. It's still talent, but it's not mind. Like, he doesn't make the right plays at all the time. He doesn't make the right plays all the time. And especially in winning moments, he does not make the right plays. And it's shown for 10 seasons. People can say, you talking about Aaron Rodgers, he a GOAT. Well, we're going to be talking about Aaron Rodgers in the same boat as Drew Brees. Let's keep it real. Aaron Rodgers is going to be talked about in the same breath as Drew Brees, but he's a better quarterback than Drew Brees. But they both only got one. They both only have 1 Super Bowl. I said it before we last time we talked before their game. I said they both choke artists. Drew Brees and Aaron Rodgers are both choke artists. Let's be real. 2009, Drew Brees won a Super Bowl. He ain't been back since. He gonna retire with 1 ring. Aaron Rodgers, 2010, won his Super Bowl. He ain't been back since. And he's 1-4. He's either 1-4 or 1-5 in championship games. Like you said, you good enough to get there, but you're not good. Last year, you was 13-3. Got smacked by a 49ers team. Okay. This year, you have home field advantage. 13-3. And you get smacked by the Bucks. Like, let's be real. The Bucks dominated that game. They gave y'all opportunities to come back and win the game. But you didn't. The Bucks dominated. I thought this game was going to get super ugly. It was 28-10. I thought this game was going to get super ugly. They gave Aaron Rodgers every opportunity to win the game. And people want to talk about, well, Matt LaFleur, he didn't go for it. I wouldn't have went for it either. I'm going to keep it real. I wouldn't have went for it either. I would have kicked this point, and I said he should kick these points and rely on his defense, because at that point, his defense was playing better than his offense. Aaron Rodgers has been down there, I think, twice already.
I think if Aaron takes off and he wasn't going to score, but he was going to get to at least a 3 or the 2. Matt LaFleur goes for it there.
Yep, he does.
I'm not going for it. I'm not going for it from where they were at either. For what? Let's get these points and let's try to get the ball back. I'm not blaming Matt LaFleur for Aaron Rodgers. Tom Brady would have took off.
He put a ring in.
When he's not the athlete that Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady would have took off because he knows Let's get
Get some
closer.
yards.
We have another down. Let's get closer.
Yep. And again, like people were saying, listen, Aaron Rodgers has been down there twice, 2 other times. He missed. It was a crosser underneath, and he missed him because he was so focused on Devontae Adams. Devontae Adams is his guy. I get it. That's his guy. But Tom Brady, he wouldn't have missed his guy. That opened. Matt Jones wouldn't have missed his guy. Let's be real. Mac Jones wouldn't have missed his guy. But I think sometimes Aaron Rodgers get tunnel vision. Maybe again, it goes back to the organization because they didn't give him another guy, another go-to guy. But if I'm Aaron Rodgers, I would want out. And if I am the Packers, I would move on because it's like always a bridesmaid, never a bride.
Mm-hmm.
That's what he is. Always a bridesmaid. Y'all will continuously be a bridesmaid in the NFC and never be a bride. And the Bucks gonna be favored next year if they well, they're gonna be favored next year regardless.
Mm-hmm.
Bucks gonna be favored next year. I think the Saints can make a move where they could leapfrog the Packers. And again, coming to this year, me and you both wasn't high on the Packers.
And to be honest with you, it was because of what we seen last Sunday. That's why that is what I was expecting from the Packers all year. I thought they would be good enough to be in games, but I didn't think they would be good enough to win 13 games. I didn't. I think I had them winning 8 or 9 games.
8-8 is what we had them in the beginning of the season. 8-8. I'm gonna be real with you. Little sneak peek. It might change over the course when we do that show, but I'm probably gonna have them being 8-8 again next year. I think Aaron Rodgers is masking some of the deficiencies that this team has. It's just he doesn't come up in clutch moments, and he doesn't come up in clutch moments, and the organization isn't doing him any favors by not drafting Jordan Love. I get it, but not getting him other top talent. So for me, I think it's a youth movement. Like a lot of y'all players are younger. Start over. Let that man. You owe it to him. Let's say that. Like if Aaron Rodgers, I say this: if Aaron Rodgers was on the Rams, they probably beat the Packers. They would beat the Packers if Aaron Rodgers was on the Rams. They'd be a close game with the Bucks. They might beat the Bucks that he on the Rams. It's just something about this Packers team, man, that
they can't. You can't put that loss on the defense. I felt like they did enough to win that game. That loss is on Aaron Rodgers and the offense.
I agree. And that hit on Aaron Jones cost him some money. That hit on Aaron Jones cost him some money, bruh. Man, we ain't paying you no. Man, you fumbled twice, man. You fumbled twice in the NFC Championship game. Drew, you hanging it up?
Yeah, I think Drew's hanging it up. And if I'm on that mindset that if he don't hang it up, I wouldn't re-sign him if I'm the Saints.
I gotta say, ain't the contract up? I ain't bringing him back.
I'm not bringing him back for what?
I'm sorry, Drew.
Like
you're gonna have to go. You're gonna have to take the Brady route. He ain't coming back here.
Nah, it's time to move on in that situation too. It is. It's just time to move on in that situation. Probably a few years ago, it was time to move on from that situation. But
and I don't think the Saints get. It's like with Aaron. It's like the same thing I said with Aaron Rodgers. I don't think the Saints give him the best opportunity to win the championship. I just don't. I think the Saints. And I don't think he gives them the best chance to win another championship either. The Saints' offense is built to be a high-power offense, and Drew just isn't that. He doesn't have the arm to make that team operate at its maximum. I'm gonna ask you a question. based off of everything that I'm hearing, is Jameis? Do you think Jameis is the guy? Because I think they're high on Jameis, or do you think somebody else can come in and take that team to another level?
You're talking about the Saints, right?
Saints, yep, the Saints.
I think Jameis can do it. I think he has the arm. I think he has the athleticism. The only question is, can he stay focused? Because we have to understand Jameis Winston. When Jameis Winston is having success, he can be a danger to himself. You know, at Florida State, he was in trouble a lot. You know what I mean? When he was having success, he hasn't had success in the NFL. So he's kept his head. He had to kind of keep his head down. Will he be able to handle success? I don't think he'll 30 interceptions. If he does that again, I'd be shocked. But he's gonna be a double-digit interception guy. That's just who he is. He's not gonna be a single-digit 4 or 5. He's gonna be a double-digit interception guy. But I think any quarterback that you get, whether it's Jameis, you bring in, if you want to trade from Matt Stafford or you want to trade from Matt Ryan, whomever, you bring in the right quarterback. The Saints aren't going anywhere. Not with Thomas and Kamara and Cook. And then the defense, they're not going anywhere. And then you still got Sean Payton on the sideline. They're not going anywhere. And they're going to make the right decision for quarterback. If they're not going to bring back Drew Brees, they're going to make the right decision at quarterback.
So, talking real good. Which bring me back to what I was talking about with the Packers. Time to move on. Because if the Saints bring in a Matthew Stafford, that elevates them, in my opinion,
that might be the favorites.
To the favorite in the NFC. That team is tailor-made for Matthew Stafford. Tailor-made for Matthew Stafford. I'm going to say this. If they bring in Jared Goff to the Saints, they might be the favorite. His arm is bigger than Drew Brees's, and they're gonna protect him. When did Matthew Stafford go to the Super Bowl? The entire Gurley ran the ball, top 5 defense, monster offensive line. You put Jared Goff, insert Jared Goff.
They were Aaron Donald injury away from probably getting back to the NFC Championship this year.
So, you can say a lot. You can say whatever you want about Jared Goff. He's not Matthew Stafford. But that Saints team doesn't need a top 10 quarterback to get to a Super Bowl. That defense is nasty. They got Alvin Kamara. They got Michael Thomas. They get another piece there. But one of the things they got to figure out is that $80 million in negative salary cap. They got to figure that out. But if they can figure out the quarterback position, I'm with you. They could be the favorite in the NFC. They smacked the Bucks twice this year. It's hard to beat somebody 3 times, which is why I picked the Bucks to beat them. But so it goes back to Aaron. It's time. It's just time. Maybe go to Aaron. If you can somehow figure out a way to get to California, I don't care which one it is.
Man, send them to the Bay, man.
San Fran, or the Rams. I don't care which one it is, because he got a. They said his house is like 20 minutes away from the Rams stadium. You can get there. You can get to the Rams, or you can get to the Bay. It'll be interesting, because I think if he gets to the Bay, they might be the favorite in the NFC.
Yeah, with that, they got weapons. That's for sure. And the defense is going to get healthy again. So, yeah.
So it's real interesting. It's a lot of stuff I was thinking about. Right? They said it could be as many as 18 quarterback changes this offseason. 18. I want to talk about the big one right on the top real quick. And I want to talk about just how dysfunctional that dumb behind organization is. Couple things, right? Shout out to my man Cully. You know him well. Yeah, I mean, he's a Raven. From a Raven. He got it. I mean, African American getting a job. But I'm not so sure this wasn't a PR move. Being real.
It was clearly a PR move. It made no sense.
The man is 65.
Makes no sense.
He's never called plays a day in his life.
He's our passing game coordinator. Do you see our passing game? Did you see our passing game? He's our passing game coordinator.
The worst passing game.
And that's the guy you try to get to bring in to save Deshaun Watson from wanting to be traded? No. You said, you know what? Deshaun's going to be gone anyway. Why not add to our arsenal too? He's just going to be a placeholder till we find the right guy. We're going to get some picks because we signed him too.
Yeah.
Let's just go ahead and get this over with, man.
When I looked at it, I said, oh.
I've never heard his name brought up in a conversation of being a candidate for a head coaching job. And then all of a sudden, he's the new Texas head coach. I was like,
keep it real. When they said David Culley, I had to go Google him. Like, who? David, who? He the Ravens passing game. I said, man, they ain't serious. They ain't serious about this.
I thought it was a joke. I had to check that. I was looking. I was scrolling on Facebook. I was like, huh? Then I looked. I was like, oh, that is from Adam Schefter. I thought it was from the black Adam Schefter. You know how people make up those names. I was like, huh? Oh, that's from the real Adam? What the world? I was like, the Texans is just continuing to show the incompetence of an organization.
Worst ran organization in I want to say professional sports right now.
They're worse than the Jets.
Listen,
saying something.
Worst ran organization right now in professional sports right now. I want to say, just
because even the Knicks and all of their dysfunction are putting out a better product than the Texans.
Yep. So I'm just like, and again, I'm happy for him. He got his job. He's been 20. Listen, this is what 27 years in NFL. 27 years in NFL, and not one coordinator position. That's paying your dues. Like that's not one coordinator position. 27 years in the NFL. That's not even always a bridegroom, never a bride. That's not even that. That's you don't even get invited to the wedding.
He got invited to the wedding. He's serving. He's serving at the reception. He's been serving at the reception.
He's serving at the reception. Then it's just like
he's a wedding singer.
Bruh. And then they said he's 65. They gave him a 5-year deal. So he'll be 70 by the time that deal's up. It's just I don't get their long-term thinking. I don't get any of it. And then if they hear him, I hear people, the Texas fans is going great. The Texas fans like, oh, like, I see why they hired him, because big yes man. He talking about Deshaun Watson is going to be here. That's why I took the job. Oh, really? You talked to Deshaun? You talked to him?
And then 2 days later, Deshaun officially requests a trade. And then the GM on talking about he's not going nowhere. He's going to be a Texan. Dude, he's going to sit out if you don't move him. He's not showing up for anything unless you move him.
I got $80 million guaranteed, bro.
Show up for what?
Even if I got $60 million guaranteed, because I heard that they can take somebody who's guaranteed. Even if I got $60 million guaranteed, I got 4 more years. I'm 25. All right, I'll sit out. Yeah. So y'all gonna trade me?
Be stupid if you want.
The dumbest organization for y'all to say he's not going anywhere. We're not going. Man, I would, like Adam Schefter said, I would go on Twitter. I would send the email out, Instagram, Facebook. Deshaun Watson is going to the highest bidder.
What? I'd have planes flying in every major city with a tail on it. Deshaun Watson is up for sale. It'd be on billboards everywhere. Are you serious? You're gonna get someone's entire farm for Deshaun Watson. You're gonna get someone's entire future for Deshaun Watson. You're gonna get 3-4 first rounders for Deshaun Watson. You're gonna get it. Why are you not wanting to move him?
And the thing is, I can see if y'all had cap. I can see if y'all had some kind of leverage. You have no leverage. Why? You don't have draft capital. You don't have salary cap space. You don't have weapons. You hired a 65-year-old.
You hired Dabo Swinney.
Right. You hired a 65-year-old passing game coordinator for the Ravens. You don't, like, he has a no trade clause. What leverage do you? What do y'all think? What do y'all be thinking when y'all in these meetings?
They don't.
We just gonna hold on to him. It's Deshaun Watson. If everybody else want him, that mean we should keep holding on to him. No, you know why everybody else wants him?
Because you don't know what to do.
Because guess what? Nobody in their right mind will even think about, oh, that guy's available. He becomes available and people want him now. He's a hot commodity because you didn't do right by him. Now listen, married woman, people gonna hit on married women, you know what I mean? Because that's just who they are, right? Some people. They're gonna take their shot. But a married woman becomes more desirable when people know that they ain't doing right. When she gives that little scent off.
Mm-hmm. All it takes is that one Facebook post saying he in here tripping.
Yep.
And the hound's gonna be on her.
That's what Deshaun Watson is right now. Yeah, he married, but y'all ain't doing right by that man. He went out. And it'd be dumb to try to hold on to this man when he wants out.
And here's the crazy thing. Did you not learn anything from the basketball team in your same city?
Yes.
Waited too long for the James Harden trade. And in my opinion, they didn't get in return what they probably could have gotten if they had traded him when he initially wanted to be traded. You could have gotten so much more sooner than later.
You hold out for with Deshaun Watson right now, right? Let's just say free agency comes. Well, the draft will come first. We just talked about it. You got Trevor Lawrence who's gonna go. You got Zach Wilson gonna go. You got Trey Lance who's gonna go. You got Mac Jones who's gonna go. You got Justin Fields who's gonna go. You got Kyle Trask who's gonna go. That's 6 quarterbacks right there that I just named. You got Carson Wentz who's possibly could move. You got Jared Goff who could possibly move. You got Matthew Stafford that could possibly move. That's 9 quarterbacks right there. You wait. You have the hottest commodity that everybody wants. That's 9 quarterbacks that I just named. Again, Adam Schefter said there could be, Dak Prescott. We don't know what what's going to happen with Dak Prescott. That's 10. We don't know what, like I said, we don't know what's going to happen with Matt Ryan. We don't know what's going to happen with Jimmy Garoppolo. We don't know what's going to happen with Teddy Bridgewater. We don't know what's going to happen with Sam Darnold.
Like guys out there.
You have the hottest one out of all those names that we don't know what's going to happen with Aaron Rodgers. You got the hottest name out of all of those. All those teams that we just named who having quarterback issues want your guy. They want your guy. Like you just said. The Jets will give you, the Jets are saying right now, we will give you our number 2 overall pick, Sam Darnold, our pick next year, and our pick the year after that. And that's what I heard. That's where he wants to go. We're going to ship you to New York for whatever it is that they offer. That's the offer. I heard the Panthers are super high on. They said they're gonna be super aggressive with him. Ted Bridgewater can be a gap stop. He can be a gap stop quarterback, and you can draft your quarterback with the pick that you're gonna get from the Panthers. You shot yourself in the foot. Bill O'Brien put you on the big in the bad place, but y'all piled on in that bad place by what y'all doing.
Absolutely. Going backwards.
Yeah, Nick Casario, David Cullen. This is what y'all walked into, but don't be Colt members.
Yeah, don't be. Like right now. Open your minds up. Think for yourselves.
That's what y'all sound like right now. Y'all sound like Colt members.
Right. Because that's ridiculous. He would have been on. He would have already been traded to the Jets.
Gone. That's what y'all offering.
The number 2 overall pick. One next year, one the year after.
And if you throw me Sam Darnold in there, all right, I ain't even got throw me Sam Darnold. I ain't even got to draft a quarterback.
I don't have to draft a quarterback. I don't have to draft a quarterback, or he could be on the move again.
Or I can flip him again.
So it don't make me no difference. But yeah,
you get it. I get it. Sean Watson is a generational talent if he wants to be there. But you can set your team up for so much success moving forward, man. So yeah, it's I don't know. Speaking of moving forward real quick. I'm gonna go to my Eagles. My man Nick had this press conference yesterday. He said he got 2 high-end quarterbacks. He don't know he don't know who's the starter is. I don't know, man. I don't know what's gonna happen to Philly right now. I like the picks. I did like the signings, all the signings that we made. But then listen to the press conference, I was like, man, it's just maybe he's seeing like another puppet because to me, you need to know who your guy is. Like people need to figure out. Okay, that's the league. That's who we following. I think I talked to you about it before. In the off seasons, quarterback like to get with their guys, get better, work out. Yeah, get repetition, everything like that. Who these wide receivers going to work out with right now? Deshaun? Carson or Jalen? I guarantee some of them is with Jalen. I guarantee, just keeping it real, I guarantee the majority of them are with Jalen.
This is why it's so difficult to come into a situation like this because you don't know these guys. You haven't been in that locker room. You haven't been on the practice field. And since you're in a situation where you really can't wait to move one of them two. You can't. But at the same time, you still want to be able to feel like you made the right choice. Because if I move Carson, and Carson goes balls, and then Jalen isn't who we thought he was, I look like a fool. Mm-hmm. Or vice versa. It's tough. It's really tough. Me personally, I go with the younger guy. I know you're probably gonna get more for the younger guy than you're gonna get for Carson just because of the year that he just had. But I'm moving Carson. Sorry. And I'm gonna move him probably to Indy because I feel like that's the best place. That's the best place for him. Also, thanks again, Frank, for bringing us a Super Bowl. So, here's another severance package for you, buddy. Take Carson if you could. Bring him back to where he was when you had him before. Cool, but I'm moving Carson. And if it don't work out with Jalen, put it on me. I'll take it.
I'll take it.
But you can't have a quarterback controversy going into OTAs.
You can't. You just can't have. You can't have a quarterback controversy going into the draft. You just can't. Like people keep saying, let them work it out in OTAs. Let them work it out at quarterback competition. It's too late then. It's too late because now the loser has less value. The loser, the draft is already gone, and don't let it be Carson Wentz that's the loser.
You can't even move that contract now.
Carson Wentz the loser. Yeah. So yeah, you have to move on. You can't go into with have a quarterback controversy. The quarterback controversy is why you're in the situation that you're in now. You have to pick a guy, hitch your wagon to that guy, and go down or go ride with the ship. You have to.
Again, I feel sorry for the guy that's just coming into this situation because again, he has to make this decision on just film and feel, and that's not always the best way to make a decision. So I don't know, but if it's me, sorry, Carson. Thanks for your service, buddy.
I agree. Listen, I love Carson. You know what I mean, but I'm with you. I'm like, and listen, there's some other things that came out. I'll share the clip that I got in our chat. Where Malcolm Jenkins is talking about Carson, saying Carson, he talk about the coaching staff. He said the coaching staff don't coach him hard. I mean, they don't really coach him. But he said Carson also got to want to work, get better at his craft. So, yeah, I'm with you, man. I think I will move on from Carson as well. Last topic I want to talk to you about. I guess we got a whole week to pick the picks for the Super Bowl, but I'm hearing Dallas might be super high on Matthew Stafford. Is that a good look, or is that not a good look?
That's a great look, in my opinion, but it don't help them. I don't care who Dallas goes to get. Dallas could go get Tom Brady. That's not their issue. Their issue is the people that they have on the sideline. The talent hasn't been an issue in Dallas. So it's probably like Quincy Carter was the quarterback. That was probably the last time they've had issues with talent in Dallas. The problem is they're not going to hire the right coach because they don't want anybody to buck against ownership. If you had Matthew Stafford in there, and I'm not saying that Dak is as good as Matthew Stafford, but it ain't like it's going to be that much different. I don't think Matt Stafford is going to go out there and make that much of a difference for that team. If the defense is still trash because of the coaching, if Mike McCarthy and Kellen Moore is still over on the sideline, it doesn't matter. I hope they do right by that. I hope they do right by that, me personally.
I agree.
But I also hope that Jerry Jones realizes that it's his flaws that are keeping his organization and his team from getting the success that he feels as though that they should be having.
I'm with you, man. Me personally, I probably would keep Dak. I think Matthew Stafford has a bigger arm. I think he's better than Gerber, but Dak's like 2-3. I think Dak's 5 years younger than him. And I'm with you. Dak was putting out otherworldly numbers, and y'all should have been 0-3 or 0-4 or something like that.
Yeah.
So Matthew Stafford, like he puts up unworldly numbers.
He's gonna win. He's gonna win a few more games in Dallas than he did in Detroit. But he's gonna be going through the same thing, putting up all pro numbers, and then he's gonna look over and he's gonna have 7 wins.
I'm gonna say this. I know you are a Texan, Matthew Stafford. I know you're from Texas. But don't go home. Don't go home. Don't go close to home with either one of the teams. Stay far away from either one of those teams as possible, bruh. Don't go home. Stay in Detroit. you beloved in Detroit. Stay in Detroit if you're gonna pick either one of those teams, man. Don't do it. I would not go to Dallas. I would not go to Houston. I just wouldn't. I wouldn't go home. I wouldn't touch either one of those teams. Dallas. If I'm Dallas, I probably almost rebuild as well. I probably get rid of that, and I probably get rid of Zeke, and I would figure it out from there. They got the number 10 pick. I would figure it out from there. You know what I mean? Because again, like you said, it don't matter who you bring in. It don't matter. Like Dallas is one of the most talented teams in the NFL.
For over a decade.
Something about people want to wear that star. That's not the issue, man. You got rid of a Super Bowl winning head coach because you didn't want him to be the guy. Or than Barry Switzer with Jimmy Johnson's guys won another Super Bowl, but after Jimmy guys was gone, it ain't been the same.
Nope.
Because again, you brought in Bill Parcells, didn't want to give him power, didn't want to allow him to do what he needed to do. He's going after 2 years, 3 years. Had Sean Payton. As long as that ownership and that leadership is in the front office, you will be relevant, but you won't be football relevant.
Yep. So, hit it nowhere fix.
So, I'm with you. Trying to think. There's one more thing I want to talk about football right quick. EB. Eric Bieniemy. I'm gonna keep saying it. The NFL has a problem. We have a problem. And again, the only reason that I think that David Culley got the job is because he's 65 and it's a PR move. You know this is not a long-term solution. You know this is not your guy. You needed some draft picks. You hired my man. And let's be real. You're probably going to fire him in 3 years, 2 years.
We're going to say 2 to 3 years.
Let's be real. He has nothing to work with unless he trades Deshaun Watson. Because even with Deshaun Watson coming back, does he have enough? You don't have the capital. You don't have this cap space or the draft picks to make him to build a team up around him. He will be the 4th best team in that division. The Texans will be the 4th best team in that division. Unless y'all move on from JJ Watt, some of these other people, which again is still hurting your team. It's still a rebuild mode. So why not just rebuild
everything?
Everything. I would have, man. They should have gave EB the job, man. Should have got the job. And it's sad, man, that in this, like I said, this time, this day and age, man, we still going to do the same things. I know Robert Saleh got the job with the Jets. Good. But it's like the NFL said, well, we hired our one guy. We hired our one black guy.
Yeah, it's progressive.
We met our quota.
We're making progress here.
No way you can tell me that. There's no way you can tell me that any of the coaches that got hired is more qualified than EB. And that's what Urban Meyer's been hired as well.
Here's what I'm gonna say. I'm with you. It's ridiculous, but I ain't as mad. And I'm gonna tell you why. Andy's not gonna do it for forever. Pat's young. Patrick Mahomes is young. Tyreek Hill's young. Travis Kelce's kind of young. And I could just step right in and take over for Eddie in a few years. So I ain't even mad. Keep winning in KC and keep making them look as obvious as possible of what's going on. I think it's ridiculous that this notion that if a guy has never called plays or he doesn't call majority of the plays, he can't be the head coach. That means the defensive coordinators shouldn't be head coaches because they don't call plays. What they don't call offensive plays, right? They're defensive coordinators. And at the same time, if I've never called a play, that means I need to hire an offensive coordinator to call plays. I don't understand that. That's the dumbest justification for it. And I'm getting ready to say this. We had a president for 4 years who never did politics. But we can't hire a head coach because he ain't never called plays? Tell me where that makes sense.
Another thing they said real quick. He don't interview well. Like somebody said this.
Yeah, I heard that. His press conferences were bad.
Interview well.
I said,
what are you asking him?
The GOAT might be the worst interviewer ever.
Yes.
Belichick give you one-word answers. Yes. No. We didn't do it well. His interviews are terrible. And he the GOAT.
We didn't interview. He didn't interview well. What kind of questions you asking him?
He shouldn't even have to interview. His resume speaks for itself.
And
what you needed, what you wanted to know.
And he got a great recommendation. Now let me ask you this one question. Has that man's recommendation, the man that's recommended him, has he recommended anybody that failed? I think he recommended one person that failed. I can only point to one person on his coaching tree that I think shouldn't be a coach, and that's the Chicago Bears, Matt Nagy. And the only reason that is that's not Matt Nagy's team. It's not.
He inherited all that.
Huh? Yeah, Matt Nagy inherited all that. He inherited Mr. Trubisky. That's not his team. But everybody else, Andy Reid has recommended. Turned out pretty well, man. Doug won the Super Bowl, even though I don't like him. Doug won the Super Bowl.
And he didn't call much plays either when he was under Randy.
He didn't call plays at all. That came from high school.
And my man went. And my man went on to win the Super Bowl. And it didn't prevent him from getting an opportunity. So,
but let's go back. What plays did John Harbaugh call?
He didn't call nothing. He was a special team
coach.
Only play call he called is fake punt.
So worked pretty well for the Ravens. How about Ron Rivera? He went to the Super Bowl. Sean Payton, he was under him. Sean McDermott, he was under him. Every recommendation that he has recommended, if Andy signed off on you, you as good as I mean a legit thing.
Unless you're black.
Huh?
I said unless you're black.
Unless you black. You black, we don't care what kind of recommendation you get.
It's question marks all over the place.
Andy, we know Andy, your track record. But yeah, we're gonna have to shit this one out.
Yeah.
We met our quota. He's gonna be the guy next year though. He'll be the guy next year because he's gonna be the one. He'll be the only probably the only black coach, black one out there. So yeah, it's
ridiculous.
Yeah. And listen, this might be best. I think there might be better jobs that come available.
It might be.
I don't know where they come from.
But there was some real good ones this offseason.
Yeah.
That Chargers job.
That Chargers. Chargers ain't never give him a look though. But that Chargers job was good.
The Jaguars job to me was good too.
Yeah, the Jags job is good. Again, if you can
I know people hate on them and everything, but the Eagles job is good, man.
I was gonna say if you can get through a lot of stuff with the Eagles, Eagles job is good. That's a good job. That's a good situation. You can get through a lot of the in between. That's a good job. That's an NFC East job. You know what I mean? Listen, Eagles to the NFC East. So I don't know where the jobs may come next year, but it's always 4 or 5, you know what I mean, 6 jobs that come available. So I think he'll have a job out there for him. I've not said last topic for football, but there's one more thing I do want to ask you. Big Ben, Steelers. Should they just move on from my guy? I think we talked about it, but he talked about taking a pay cut to stay there. I'm like, bro, I don't want to take no pay cut. I don't want to take no pay cut. You about to just get cut.
His willingness to take a pay cut lets me know that he knows that the door should be closing behind him. He knows that. Because why would you say, man, I'll take a pay cut now? Oh, now you want to take a pay cut after you just stunk it up coming down the stretch of the season. Yeah, move on from him and be done. To me, that's another place. That's another organization where it really doesn't even matter. I know they got Dwayne Haskins. I'm not sure if Mike Tomlin thinks that he's the guy for the future or not, but it's definitely Ben has no place in the present or the future of the Steelers, in my opinion.
Let me tell you something.
I'm not even sure if he has a place still in the NFL.
Let me tell you something. I'm with you.
As a starter.
I'm gonna say this. I seen them win with Duck Hodges. Duck Hodges. Man, get out of here, man. Like they just need adequate quarterback play, and they gonna compete. Let's be real. Who cost them the Super Bowl? I mean, who cost them the playoffs this year? Big Ben. Big Ben. If they had Mason Rudolph out there playing, they probably would have beat the Browns. If they had Duck Hodges out there, they probably beat the Browns. If they don't take those turnovers, they score 28 points off of turnovers.
Yeah, Pouncey didn't help immediately with that. He did a long snap in the shot.
Snap. They don't have turnovers. They probably win the game. So, yeah, man, I think it's just time to move on from Ben. Ben. Eli's gone. Philip did it this year. Ben.
It's your turn. And you went through way more injuries than those two. Way more injuries. And let's be real. I mean, Eli was Eli at the end. We're not going to say Eli was stinking it up. He stunk it up for a lot of his career. So he was himself at the end. Phillip Rivers was still balling with the Colts last year. Then you had your moments over the last few years, but for the most part, you've either been bad or injured.
Time, man.
It's time, man. You're a Hall of Famer, man. You've got, in my opinion, you're one of those guys where you were always really, really good, but never really great. You know what I mean? You were good enough to get the job done. They played in 3 Super Bowls, right?
Mm-hmm. 1, 2 of them, yep.
Yeah, like, man, nothing to be ashamed of at all, man. And the only one that you lost, man, you lost to Aaron Rodgers.
Yep.
So nothing to be ashamed of, man. You had a great year, a great career, man.
Wrap it up.
I'd rather see you walk away.
Yeah.
Because your style of play, you still want to hang around and try to extend play. I'd rather see you walk away than get carried away, Ben.
Yeah. You a Steeler, man. Go out as a Steeler.
Yeah, you're not gonna look right at another uniform either.
Go out as a Steeler. So I think just going through and off track, scrolling through. This stuff happening in football, basketball, stuff like that. I don't know if we want to touch on it right now.
I want to touch on something with the NBA.
All right, let's get it.
Who's your early MVP candidate?
Joel Embiid. Joel Embiid. What he's doing right now, and again, this is not biased, because he's a Sixer.
I don't know.
What he is doing right now,
MVP candidate as well.
He's 14-2 when he played. The one time he played with the one loss, I think both losses, it was because of COVID. I don't think he had his full team. Ben wasn't there on one of the games, and Steph Curry wasn't there in another game. So, but when they have a full squad, I think they're like 12-0. Joel Embiid is leading the league free throws. He's averaging like 12 a game. He shooting 54% from the field, 40% from the 3-point line, 84% from the free throw line, which is ridiculous. He's playing like 32 minutes a game, and like people, I know people like, well, they had a weak schedule. They had a weak schedule, but Toronto ain't no pushovers. They're not trash. They were just the number 2 team in the East last year. He beat the Lakers. So it beat Boston. I mean, albeit Jason Tatum wasn't there, but Boston, they still solid, right? Even with or without Jason Tatum. Jaylen Brown is a early season most improved player. Shoot, if they had more wins, he'd be an early season MVP as well. So, but he is just right now. He is playing at a Shaq-esque level right now. He is the most dominant. What he just did to Anthony Davis. In them. And people will say, Marc Gasol is the Joel Embiid stopper. Well, there is no stopper for Joel Embiid right now. There's no stopper for him in the NBA right now. And if he continues to play at this level, the biggest back. He's the most dominant player in the NBA right now. He's my MVP.
He's my MVP too. My only fear and the only thing that's gonna really make me really upset is this is gonna, after what happened last year, the narrative is gonna be LeBron.
Mm-hmm.
And don't get it twisted. My man is averaging 26, I think 26, 8, and 8. Like, I'm not saying that he shouldn't be in the conversation at all. He's LeBron James. He's going to be in the MVP conversation every year until he retires. My issue is Joel is dominating. I just feel like, and again, it's LeBron, man, and his narrative, because they're gonna want to throw, they're gonna bring up, man, he's in year 18 and he's still doing this. I don't care if he was in year 25 and he's still doing this. We're not good. That shouldn't have no factor. We're just talking about what he's doing in this year right here. No matter what year it is, LeBron's numbers are gonna be phenomenal. Again, I don't think that Lakers could be at their best with LeBron being the leader and the man of that team. That's got to be AD. LeBron has to be the second best player on that team for that team to get to that level of winning an NBA championship. They have been, to me, just as impressive this year as they were last year. This is how they were looking. They've had their hiccups against some couple of teams that they probably shouldn't have lost to, but whatever. The Clippers, to me, are showing something.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that is probably the most surprising thing, the way that they are winning. But the MVP race right now, man, what Joel's doing for that team, he's looking great, man. He's looking like the guy that he is supposed to be. If Ben comes around, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. If Ben comes around, it's a wrap, because the rest of those guys, man, Dwight plays his role perfectly. Seth plays his role perfectly. Tobias Harris looks like the guy Doc Rivers came in and said, Tobias, remember what you did for me in LA? I need you to be that guy because if you're not that guy, we're going to move you. You okay? And then Tobias was like, oh, okay.
Doc, I got it, coach.
I got you, coach. Because Tobias is looking like the guy that should be an all-star. Like, that's who he is. He should be a perennial all-star, and he's looking that way, man. The Sixers are right now the best team in the East.
Hands down.
I don't think there's another team that's even at the level yet. I know that Brooklyn has talent, but they've got to figure some things out. They got to get their roles solidified, and they need some more depth, in my opinion. I know I heard about the potential.
If they get that guy,
Andre Drummond trade, I'm not sure
that guy.
Who Cleveland would want. That's why you shouldn't have moved Jared Allen, but I don't know who Cleveland would want.
They're gonna buy him out.
You know what I mean? That's stupid.
They're gonna buy him out, and then he's gonna go.
You just traded for him. Why would you trade for a guy and then buy him out within a year? Like that's.
But that's what I heard.
That shows you
who buy him out.
That shows you who Cleveland is. But Joel has been phenomenal, man. He's been phenomenal. I've been watching almost every Sixer game, whether I watch it live or I watch the replay of it. But I've been watching it, man. I'm like, yo, that's the guy they drafted.
And I'm gonna tell you what they drafted. I'm gonna tell you what I love about it is like when he got injured, he fell. I expected him to sit out games. He like, I'm not sitting out. And he said this shit. He said, I want to play the most games I played in my career.
Man, and he got where all of these post moves come from all of a sudden? Like, man, I'm like, yo, this man been in the lab. He was in the lab. I ain't mad at him. He's the best. He's the best big in the game.
I'm gonna say this.
I think Jokic might be the most versatile.
Mm-hmm.
He might be the most versatile, but I don't think he's the best. I think Joel has proven that he's the best. Cat's been out for a while with the COVID thing. Cat boy, Joel coming for you, man. He putting it out there that he putting you on notice that he's the guy.
I'm gonna say this. Joe keep playing like this. Everybody keep talking about passing the torch. He can be the best player in the NBA. Nothing that he cannot do. Like LeBron said. He said, man, he James Harden-esque. 7'2"er? 7'2". He said, James Harden-esque. He can beat you from all three levels. He can dominate in the post, mid-range game, and he can step out and hit the three. Oh. And they say a big can't close games. Well, he shoots 84% from the free throw line. He just like, I know we said the guy, and we gave the guy in Dallas the unicorn name. Joel Embiid is a unicorn. There's nothing that he cannot do. When he's engaged, he is the best, the most dominant player in the NBA. When engaged, he's the most dominant player in the NBA. And he's showing it this year. Yeah, so he might MVP. I don't think LeBron is actually, if I had to do a pecking order, LeBron would probably be like fourth to me in the NBA MVP. He'd probably be like fourth. Jokic is averaging a triple-double. He's averaging a triple-double. And he's a big. And he give you 2 steals a game. So I know he's not a real on-ball defender, or he's not a rim protector or anything like that. But he's playing some kind of D. He give you 2 steals a game. So I think they're losing. It ain't because of him. It's because we expected Jamal Murray to look like playoff Jamal Murray. And he hasn't. And I'm expecting Michael Porter Jr. to look like Michael Porter Jr. And for whatever reason, him and Mike Malone don't get along or something, because why is he not playing? Why are you not playing possibly? I think Jamal Murray, I think that Michael Porter Jr. is your most talented player on your team. He's the most talented player on your team.
Agreed.
But you're not playing him. Because no way you can tell me that Jamal Murray plays defense
I don't think nobody on that team plays defense, honestly. But here's my issue. Here's my issue with the Nuggets. Paul Millsap. Paul Millsap is getting minutes that other guys should be getting because Paul Millsap shouldn't be on the Nuggets. I believe that he is holding them back, not because he's not good, but because he's in the way of other guys that should be who should be splitting his minutes. Paul Millsap should have been moved or cut, released, whatever, because the youth movement is here. And he doesn't fit. He just doesn't fit the future of this team. I don't get it.
I agree. Listen, the only way the Nuggets will go as far as Michael Porter Jr. takes. I said it last year. I'm saying it again this year. Either you need to move on from Michael Porter Jr. and get somebody else that you feel will fit your system, or you need to unleash Michael Porter. I looked at Michael Porter Jr.'s numbers last night because I was like, man, shoot, maybe Philly could trade him because they're not using him in Denver. That man is giving you 17 a game. He's shooting 54% or 55% from the field and 50% from the three-point line. And he's shooting 82% from the free throw line. Jamal Murray, and he giving you 19 minutes a game. Jamal Murray giving you 20 points a game. And he gave me 33 minutes a game. Jamal Murray, I love Jamal Murray, man, but he hasn't taken that next level. He see it show in the playoffs, but we expecting you to be that guy all season. Jokic, he took his game to another level. Jamal Murray hasn't. And that's why I got Jokic as another MVP. And my third MVP is, I'm looking at him right now, is the chef. The chef is back. Chef Curry. Man, I'm looking at that team. That team is trash. Kelly Oubre, I like Kelly Oubre, but he had moments, man. I'm like, when I thought they got Kelly Oubre, I said, yo, they could be a top 4 seed, and they flirt. They could still be a top 4 seed. They flirt in and out with that. If Kelly Oubre on, they're a top 4 seed. And Kelly Oubre look like he trash, that's when they fall out of the playoffs. But it ain't because of Steph Curry. He out here putting up worldly numbers again. And if he can get them into that playoffs, he can get them in that 4 seed. I've been saying it. I think he'll be in the MVP race as well.
Oh, wow. But I'm not gonna blame Oubre. Nope.
You gonna blame Steve Kerr?
Nope. I'm gonna blame Draymond. And the reason why I'm gonna blame Draymond is, like, Draymond's got to be more than just a facilitator and a leader. He's gonna have to be able to put the ball in the basket every now and again. I think he's averaging like 4 points a game. That's not gonna cut it. We're talking about, and this is one of the reasons why a few years ago I used to get on people like Draymond Green is not a top 25 player in the NBA. Y'all have to stop that. He's a role player. He can't be in the top 25 when he's number 4 on his team. That didn't make sense to me. But he's an all-star. This guy, he's an all-star. 4 points ain't gonna cut it. The other stuff I'm fine with. He rebounds, he assists, he's always gonna play defense. But the 4 points a game isn't gonna cut it. And he has to do more. Clay's not there. He has to do more. You can't rely on Wiseman and Pascal and Oubre and Wiggins. They weren't part of that 73-win team. They weren't a part of that team that went to, 4 straight NBA finals. You were. You have to take your game to another level, and he's not. And it's just...
Yo, I legit didn't know he was averaging 4 points a game until you just said it. Like, Draymond, bro, you averaging 4.9. You averaging 5 points a game, bro. Shooting 34% from the field.
No.
and they still fighting for a
And
playoff.
they're still 10-9 with him playing like that. Kelly Oubre is just inconsistent. He's inconsistent. Draymond, he's got to score more. Bless you.
Thanks.
That's man.
Yeah. So again, I'm not gonna. It's not LeBron hate because I think LeBron is great. He's doing this thing, but I just think as far as the most valuable player to their team, I just saw LeBron lose to the Pistons. I know AD sat out. Just being real, I know AD sat out, right? But AD being missing is the equivalent of Klay Thompson being missing, right?
Easily.
So if AD is sitting out, you still should be able to beat the Pistons, LeBron. Steph is losing to quality teams. Outside the Knicks, they did lose the Knicks, but he loses to quality teams.
The Knicks is quality team. I'm not getting ready to get on the Knicks, man. The Knicks right now, I think they're like the 8th seed, man.
Yeah, they are. I think like 8 and 11. Yep. So they or 9-11. They listen. The Knicks playing quality basketball. I'm not lying to you. Not gonna lie to you. They playing quality basketball. So I think LeBron is still having a great year, but I think there are other players that are. I think that if you take them off of their team, we seen it last year. There's no shots. You take Steph Curry off of the Warriors, they get the number 2 overall pick. You take Kevin Durant off of the Nets. Well, not now. You take Kevin Durant off the Nets right now, they're still a playoff team. I mean, they was a playoff team last year. So, but you take Joel Embiid off the Sixers this year. They're a lot of the teams, unless Ben Simmons turns it back into the Ben Simmons that we know. You know what I mean? But you take LeBron off the Lakers, they're still a playoff team. They might be a top 4 team still.
I don't know.
They're a playoff team though. They're a playoff team for sure.
They should be with AD. Yeah, you're right.
Like if they can't be a playoff team with AD, Schroeder, and again, Taman, I know this your man, man. Shout out to my man Taman. Why AD only averages 22 points a game with 9 rebounds? He ain't that guy. I've been telling people. He ain't that guy. That's why LeBron got to keep being MVP. Because AD, he keep trying to give it to AD. LeBron said, I seen it in one press conference, he said, our captain and our leader said it's go time. So we said it was go time. No, LeBron, you the captain and the leader. AD don't want that smoke. He don't want that responsibility.
I'm with you, man. I think, which is one of the reasons I don't feel like the Lakers are as good or this juggernaut that everybody continues to make them out to be. Like, one, their roster isn't that impressive to me. I know everybody else is intrigued with, with all of the names. Like, I've never been that high on Dennis Schroeder. Dennis Schroeder to me is a guy where he's going to look good on bad teams. He has not been that great this year. He hasn't been that good. KCP has not been that good. I told everybody that Wes Matthews is not better than Danny Green. I try to tell them that. I'm like, y'all think Wes Matthews is better than Danny Green? Are you crazy? Are you serious? He's not better than Danny Green. Like, I know y'all don't like Danny Green, but he's Danny Green, man. He's a Popovich disciple, man. He knows how to play basketball. He is going to bring more to the table than numbers. And nobody wanted to believe me. And now look at Danny Green in Philly. Wes Matthews is giving you nothing. Absolutely nothing in LA. Montrezl Harrell, he looked average. He don't even look like the same dude that just played in that same building just last year. Like, I don't know if this team, I don't know if they're just going through the motions right now or if they try to figure stuff out. But I have not been as impressed as other people by it. LeBron is LeBron. And I'm not going to be – I'm done. I'm past the point where I'm impressed with his team because I'm impressed with him. I'm done with that. I'm no longer impressed with his team just because I'm impressed with him. I'm not impressed with this team. LeBron has been phenomenal, but this team to me is not where everybody thinks they are.
From what I saw Wednesday, this is barometers, right? What I saw opening night and what I saw Wednesday, the Lakers, I don't think presently constructed, I don't think the Lakers can beat the Sixers in a 7-game series.
They can't beat they can't beat the Clippers in a 7-game series right now. There's gonna be moves. Somebody is gonna be moved. Kyle Kuzma is probably gonna be the first thing out of there. He has been terrible all year long. Terrible.
So, it's just, again, the moves they had last year, we thought that they didn't work, but they somehow, like Dwight Howard was like, when Marcus Gasol getting foul trouble, they bring in Montrezl Harrell. You bringing in Montrezl Harrell to compete with that monster? Good luck. We see how that works. With the Clippers, they got Serge Ibaka. He about 7 foot. He's 7 foot. He a footer. Montrezl Harrell was not people loved it. We got Montrezl, and I told people, I said, listen, that was a bad move for y'all. Terrible move for y'all. We got Montrezl Harrell, 6th man of the year. Okay. He was the 6th man of the year with that coach, Doc, who got our guy looking like a 6th man of the year right now, Shake Milton. So that's what Doc does. What y'all did with Montrezl Harrell and Dennis Schroeder, not the same. Y'all need different. LeBron and AD need different type of players. They don't need the Montrezl Harrell and the Dennis Schroeder. They don't need those type of players. They need shooters, 3-and-D guys, and they need bigs that's gonna play their role. Montrezl Harrell is too small. Yeah, I don't think that they can beat the Sixers. I'm with you. I don't think they can beat the Clippers in the 7-game series. I don't even know they can beat them in the 7-game series.
Presently constructed. I really don't believe people truly valued what Rondo and Dwight Howard and Danny Green did for them last year. They are not the offensive players that they got replaced by. Dennis Schroeder is offensively more gifted than Rajon Rondo. I'll never question that. Montrezl Harrell is offensively more gifted than Dwight Howard. I'll give you that. But what they brought to the team as far as leadership, experience, and defensively, I remember me and you talked about it. I said, I'm not paying attention to the NBA. We'll talk about it again in February when everybody starts showing their true colors. People are starting to show their true colors. All of a sudden, teams that were hot at the beginning, they ain't nowhere to be found. The Lakers, they were hot at the beginning. All of a sudden, they're coming back down to earth. I think they're like second seed, third seed in the West. Like, all of a sudden, they're starting to show a little kinks in the arm. They got a big game tonight. Yeah, and they got the C's tonight. So, I'm not sold on them. There's gonna be LeBron, the GM is gonna get ready. He's getting ready to kick in. He's gonna have to get his office. Get ready. Him and Maverick already have a sit down. Like, all right, man, who needs to be going out of here? Because
I'm gonna tell y'all this: don't gift wrap them no players. Like they about to gift wrap the Nets. Don't gift wrap. Stop gift wrapping people players. That's what won them the championship last year. They gift wrapped them players.
They get rid. Oh, the GM's gonna make that happen. The GM is gonna make that happen.
But this is what I want to say to you real quick. When you said people talk about Montrezl Harrell and his scoring, Montrezl Harrell get a lot of touches. He's an energy guy. He gets 24 minutes a game. Dwight Howard is 15 minutes a game, and he doesn't get the touches that Montrezl Harrell gets. 17, he shoots 6. He got 6 points a game, but he don't get the shots that Montrezl Harrell get. If Dwight Howard got a little bit of shots, he can average 13 and 12. The boy giving you like 8 rebounds a game in 15 minutes. He's not that. Like I'm with you. He's not that type of guy, man. With the intangibles, now he'll walk and foul right now, but he'll give you the intangibles and the defense that Dwight gives you, man. So, like you said, Danny Green, Avery Bradley, they lost a lot of players, but they're about to get gift wrapped a couple players, man. I ain't gonna lie. I think they are. They're gonna get gift wrapped a couple players. So, yeah, I'm with you, bro. I'm with you. I'm excited about basketball. Basketball about the pop ball. This is what I want to say real quick. I'm gonna leave it on this note. Free Zach, man. Free Zach, man. Stop holding on to Zach. Stop holding on. Stop holding on to Zach captive, man.
Nah, actually, man, I've been good with us this year. I thought we've been really competitive. We've won some games that normally we shouldn't have won. We're in the thick of things as far as, getting into the playoffs. I mean, we're only 2 games out of the 6th seed right now. So that says something about how bad the Eastern Conference is more than anything. But hey, I'll take it. I feel like we're headed in a good direction.
No, I'm just saying free him because
they need to trade him because he's gonna leave at the end of the year
or pay him.
They're not gonna. If they haven't paid him by now, I don't think they're gonna pay him.
So free my man Zach. Stop holding my man captive. 2 people that need to be free. Zach and Brad. Listen, Brad.
Nope. I'm not free. I'm not on the free Bradley bill. He signed an extension. Nope. He put himself in that situation.
Listen,
nope.
Brad, you need to come out. Listen, you need to call Deshaun Watson. You need to call Deshaun Watson. Listen.
But I will say this. Russell Westbrook. He's ran out of basketball juice. His athleticism is still top notch, but his basketball skill is on a really, really bad decline. Like my man
actually had basketball skill. I just thought he played with a lot of energy and heart.
My man had 163 shots and 163 points. Russ, woo! You've got to do better. That team, and again, I was big on this team. I wasn't big like they're gonna go and win the East and nothing like that. But I was big on it. This team could get into the playoffs. And maybe win around. And now they're not even gonna make the playoffs. They're not gonna make the playoffs. I know that Thomas Bryant going down, that hurt. I know that hurt. But even before he got hurt, they weren't playing good basketball. And I'm not big on Scott Brooks, so I'm gonna put it on him.
I was like, look, I said, yo, Piff, like, man, they need to fire Scott Brooks right now. Listen, I think Russ. I just think they both in a bad situation. I think that this is a bad situation for Russ to be in. I don't know where Russ can go and actually be.
I don't know if he's tradable anymore.
You can't trade him. They gave him a first rounder for him. Give John Wall in the first rounder for him. You can't trade him. So I don't know unless you ain't gonna get that first rounder back. So man, maybe you might get the first rounder back for him.
No, you're not. I don't think you are anymore. I don't think he is as big of a commodity as he was just a few months ago.
I'm gonna tell you, it was some bad trades, bro. It was some bad trades that we thought that was gonna be great. Was like, I bet that's gonna put them over the top. I think the Westbrook trade was a bad trade for them. They should have kept John Wall. John Wall looking good over there in Houston. Should have kept John Wall. The Westbrook trade was a bad trade. I just think it wasn't a good fit. I said in the beginning, I just didn't know how it was gonna work. I don't know where you can move him to and maximize his value. Maybe the Clippers, but that's a lot. But another trade I'm not. I think that's not working out. Chris Paul trade. Devin Booker don't look like Devin Booker. Look better last year than he did right now.
I think the issue with that, honestly, one, he can't stay healthy again. But also, I thought it was early, and they were trying to figure things out. I think once they figure things out, I think they'll be fine. You seen flashes of them being able to make the leap. The only thing is with that Chris Paul trade, I didn't think the Chris Paul trade was enough to get them over the top as far as Chris Paul being in contention to win a championship,
right?
Which is what he wants to do. Which is why I was like, whatever with Phoenix. But Devin Booker, yeah, he's gonna have to take a step back because now you got another ball dominant person. So yeah, his numbers is gonna suffer a little bit.
Which was like, why? You know what I mean? Why? Like I know Chris Paul's a leader, great leader, you know what I mean, stuff like that. But I just think again, what you said, he should have went to another team. Now I know what he said. I don't want to go to a team that's already established because I didn't do that. Hey yo, bro. You about 36.
Better go get that ring.
Listen, I'm gonna say this. I would not be surprised if he's bought out. I would not be surprised if he bought out. And with him being the type of person he is, he's not going to. I'm gonna tell you where he will go. He will go to the Clippers. He'll go to the Clippers, but he ain't gonna go to the Lakers.
Yeah.
So I won't be surprised.
Speaking of Chris Paul, I wonder how he feels seeing all of these crazy trades being made after he was blocked from going to the Lakers. So
he like, man, this is
all right. So now they can just trade anybody anywhere,
willy-nilly.
Yeah,
Chris Paul room, man. Everybody uproar. Now you can just trade anywhere. But to this point,
was like, no, we're not getting ready to create super teams on my
life. Not over here. Not over here, bro. But yeah, bro. So yeah, I think basketball is off to a good start, man. I just think that like I said, some of these trades need to be. Now I'll tell you this: if you swap Chris Paul for Russell Westbrook, that might work out because Russ will make sure that what's his name eats. Devin Booker eats. He'll push the pace. He'll push the tempo. Another thing they said is that Chris Paul slows the game down, which he does. He slows the game down. That's just his game.
And that's kind of always been his game, to be honest with you. It's always been a run when we have numbers guy. He's not gonna force it.
Yeah, they slow the game down, which is hurting. They said it's hurting feeling. Russ, he'll speed the game up, which will help Devin Booker and them guys.
Yeah, I agree.
We'll see. But yeah, bro. I think that's all. We touched on everything. I ain't not touching college basketball because it ain't March Madness yet. Duke trash.
That's why you don't want to college basketball.
Duke trash, man. Duke got a big game the other day. Duke got a big game next Saturday against North Carolina. Man, I'm like,
yeah. When the biggest news coming out of Duke basketball is that Coach K laid into some college reporter.
Yep, and then he apologized. That's it. Yep.
That's the only news coming out of Cameron.
Coming out of Duke basketball. Listen,
that's the only news coming out of Durham. That's saying something.
Listen, Michigan popping.
Yeah, man, we're looking good, man. Juwan has taken this program, man, and taken it to another level with his. John Beilein set a foundation, I think, of winning.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean, and the tradition of winning, and now Juwan is building on that with recruitment. And he's gonna be, just because he has that NBA experience, he's gonna be the good developer of that talent. Because John Beilein wasn't able to. I don't think he was able to develop those guys.
We see it well. The pros, he couldn't develop. Like,
you know what I mean?
Karis
LeVert is the best guy to come from under John Beilein during his Michigan run. So
yeah. Y'all number 4 right now, man. Which all love. Shout out to Michigan basketball, man. So yeah, like I said, listen, I got another team I root for, but I ain't gonna talk about them either. Villanova, I root for Villanova just being a PA kid, so that's what I'm rooting for this year, Villanova. So, but hey, listen, that's our show. I don't think we got anything else that we had to talk about on tap. It was a lot. We had a lot. We missed a lot of missed the whole weekend. I mean, it was like I said, with stuff going on, personal stuff. So good to be back with y'all. Good to be back with my guy talking sports. If y'all like the show, make sure y'all subscribe, like, share. Make sure y'all follow us on our Facebook. Our platform is there. If y'all want to be on the show, make sure that y'all hit us up on any of our platforms. But until next time, y'all, I'm gonna holler at you. Oh.
I can't do it. Chad Will is a punk.
Oh my God! Yeah, I was close out with final thoughts too.
He's a punk. He's a punk, and he should be locked up. And shame on ESPN. Shame on the NFL Network. Y'all, his face, his name should be plastered all over the place. I understand that he's not a big name guy like a Ray Rice. I understand that, but he's still a part of your organization, and you should be treating him the same way you treated Ray Rice. He needs to be on everything, his face plastered for what he did to that young lady.
So, again, I almost closed out with our final thoughts. My final thought again, Chad Willard, whatever his name is. We try to cover it up, right? And again, I get it. Mental health is huge. Bipolar, we talk about him being bipolar, anything like that is huge. But and I'm not big on meds. You might know I'm not big on meds. But when you get prescribed something and you like my aunt is bipolar. She was diagnosed. She offered meds. She threw herself in front of a bus. Like, that is the type of thing that thing can do. So when you know that this is the effect that it can have, you not taking your meds is no excuse. You know the type of places that they can put you in. It can put you in. So I'm with you. That's no excuse. It's no excuse for what you did to that young lady. I also want to say this. If you're in a situation like that, speak up. Speak up.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure that wasn't the first time he done that.
It's not. I guarantee you it's not. I know it's not the first time. Young ladies out there, young men out there, even in a domestic situation, you got to speak up, man. You have to speak up, speak out, because that's the only way that this thing will change. That's the only way that people will get the help that they need. And I know he's saying that he want to check himself into. Man, you need to be checked into somewhere else, good brother. Go check yourself out into a place and get yourself some help. You need to check yourself into somewhere else.
Absolutely.
Or somebody needs to do it for you.
Yep.
So, that's my final thought. Get help. Mental health. Take care of yourself. But young ladies, speak up. Young men, speak up. Man, domestic violence is not cool. And I don't care what the underlining of it is. It's not cool.
Nope. I don't care what the reasoning for it is. Nope.
So, but yep. Again, that's our show, y'all. Again, if y'all got anything y'all want to talk to us about, make sure y'all hit us up on our platform. So until next time, y'all, I'm gonna holler at y'all. Speak on.
Peace.